Coming up on NFL Primetime, we have two big surprises in the NFL. The Broncos unbeaten and the Bengals in first place. The AFC is upside down. In a word, Miles Austin went miles to make sure the Cowboys got back to Dallas and near Austin with a win in Kansas City. And will the Jets defense be the difference tonight in Miami as they take on the Dolphins on Monday Night Football? NFL Primetime has that and so much more. Hi, everybody, and welcome in to another edition of NFL Primetime. So glad you are hanging out with us. Trey Wingo, Trent Dilfer, Merrill Hodge. Trust me, the stuff that goes on between the segments sometimes is the best part of the whole show. Guys, we seem to have a wider gap than we've ever seen in recent memory in the playoff or the free agency period of football between the haves and the have-nots, the cans and the can'ts. We'll get into that a little bit later here on NFL Primetime, but first we've got to conclude Week 5 with a showdown in Miami. The New York Jets in town to take on the Miami Dolphins. And for the team reports on what's going on tonight, we say hello to Susie Culver. Hey, Susie.
Hello, Trey. And if you want to listen to Rex Ryan, and he does know a thing or two about defense, he believes that Jets cornerback Darrelle Revis could turn out to be the Defensive Player of the Year. He said he's never been around a cornerback like this. He's got a linebacker mentality, he loves to hit, he's got great cover skills, great ball skills. He's already shut down 3 of the best in the NFL, Andre Johnson, Marcus Colston, and Randy Moss. So tonight he gets Miami's #1, Ted Ginn. Revis was showing us last night that he's drinking a lot of water to stay hydrated because he said Ginn is a speedster and he's going to be following him around all night. Ginn told us the key to playing against Revis is to be patient and got to give him different looks at the line because he knows that Revis is also a student of the game. He can look at where a receiver's toes are pointed and know how he's going to run his route. And Trey, in typical receiver fashion, in the end he said, I can get by him.
Well, they always think they're open, Sue, so we'll see what happens tonight.
Good luck.
Yeah, listen, I mean, Randy Moss couldn't, and some other pretty good receivers could not as well, including Andre Johnson, who we just saw run through a linebacker on NFL Live. But let's talk about the offense here, Jets, Trent, for the first time. You have Mark Sanchez coming off his first bad game before as a quarterback in the NFL against the Saints. How does he respond? What does he need to do to sort of get back on the right side of the ship?
Do what he's always done, and that's just man up and respond well after failures. When you look at young quarterbacks, you're evaluating them. The first thing you should do is go take all their bad plays on film, watch the bad plays, and then go see what they do right after the bad play, because that tells you a lot about the personality of the quarterback. Mark Sanchez has always had the ability to bounce back. This is a game the Jets have in control. He makes a boneheaded mistake, throws a pick 6 to the Houston Texans, gets them back in the football game. But what does he do after it? Next series, 3rd and 3, can't give back momentum. He identifies the matchup. Keller on a safety up top, pins the safety, and delivers a dime for the big 3rd down completion. Next play, Thomas Jones touchdown run. New England Patriots had an awful first half. Mark Sanchez can't play against New England Patriots. First series of the second half starts with this strike to Kotchery on the bang 8. First play, follows it up with one of the better throws we've seen all season long by any quarterback, feathering this ball in the back of the end zone to Dustin Keller. Look at the ball, the ability to get the ball up and down, firm with an arc. It's a game of inches. It's all about accuracy. This is how he responds after the bad first half. We will learn so much about Mark Sanchez because last week was a stinker. He was awful against the Saints. He knows it, but we are going to learn a lot about this young man, how he can bounce back from a bad game. We saw him bounce back great from a bad play, bad half. Now it's his time to respond to a bad game.
And we'll see how he does. Now, the defense, Merrill, for the Dolphins is pretty good. But great googly moogly, that defense for the Jets is unbelievable. And listen, we saw on a Monday night game a couple weeks ago, Ronnie Brown run all over the Colts. Can they run like that against this Jets defense with big Chris Jenkins in the middle?
Trey, I've been waiting.
Googly moogly.
All googly moogly day for this moment right here. Listen here, the Miami Dolphins, I know everybody's heard about the Wildcat. The Miami Dolphins have ran the Wildcat 29 times. But here's the beautiful number. 23 of the 29 times they ran it, no quarterback on the field. That's telling you a little something.
That's why they're
Here's exactly what the Jets are going to have to deal with them. First of all, you're going to come in motion. Ricky Williams. There's your 4 running backs. There's your 2 tight ends. And the beautiful formation. No quarterback. Why? Because you just throw it to the open guy anyway. You talk about a seal here. and a seal there, and you have an outlet right there, and Ronnie Brown is gone, brought down into the 5-yard line. Tonight, without any question whatsoever, a Jet defense is very good, but they are fast and they are aggressive. The key for them tonight to handle the Wildcat, discipline. Do your job. Do not over-pursue, because the Wildcat is either a sweep to the right, a power here, or a counter there. And occasional throw off of that. And that requires disciplined football. And if they run it every time with no quarterback, this could be history in the making.
Yes.
And maybe the league may go. And if they really win, more teams will go next.
or they
right,
could fall to that with 1-4, which is
well, let's hope they don't do that, because then my theory is going to start going the other way.
Get him to stop talking.
Don't buy stock tips from this man. By the way, the Jets have won 8 of the last 10 meetings between these two, although last season, end of the regular season, it was the Dolphins that came up to the Jets and pretty much knocked the New York Jets and Brett Favre out of the playoffs. We're going to talk a little bit about quarterbacks on NFL Primetime. This just in, the Mannings come from a pretty good quarterback gene pool. They both did a pretty good job with their teams on Sunday. Donovan McNabb's ribs, they appear to be just fine. Don't take my word for it. Ask the Tampa Bay Bucks. And is it possible that Sunday in Denver, a man named Orton in horrible uniforms was better than the guy named Brady?
What a play.
College football on ESPN America.
Touchdown, Auburn.
Catch the best games from the gridiron every Saturday.
Touchdown, Notre Dame.
Travel across the U.S. with a college game day team
And the Tigers handle the lead.
as the top schools battle for BCS glory.
Touchdown, Oklahoma. What a great goal. And the Gators have taken the lead.
College football every Saturday, only on ESPN America.
You don't think I want to bet? You better check your record.
Diggs alone, throwing left side, complete. Got Steve Smith out there, first down, and Smith pulls away.
You can try to contain me, but you can't stop me.
Near sideline, Smith makes the catch. Steve Smith in a crowd of people makes the catch. Looking long in middle, leaping grab, caught. Did it again.
Are you kidding me? My goodness, Steve Smith, what a play. Steve Smith is absolutely incredible.
NFL on ESPN America.
Detroit wide receiver Calvin Johnson had a breakout year in 2008. While providing highlight reel catches, the Lions wideout led the NFL in receiving touchdowns and averaged over 17 yards a reception. With new quarterback Matthew Stafford, Johnson looks to continue lighting up scoreboards in 2009.
Touchdown, Detroit Lions! You're not going to see a better catch than that.
Welcome back to NFL Primetime.
We continue on NFL Primetime. Trey Wingo, Trent Dilfer, and Merrill Hodge. Guys, Sunday night in Tennessee, the Titans tried to do something that people haven't done to the Colts in about a calendar year. Beat them in the regular season. Going into the game Sunday night, they had won 13 straight. In fact, the last team to beat them in the regular season, the Titans, last October on Monday Night Football. Let's just say the Colts were not interested in history repeating itself. Peyton Manning was interested in one thing repeating, and that would be a 5th straight 300-yard passing game. And let's just say, so far, that's been a good thing for the Colts. 4th and 1, I'm not going to run it. I'm going to throw it to Reggie Wayne for a touchdown.
Yeah, and how often do we see Peyton Manning sprinting to his right, but he doesn't on that play?
That moved him past Fran Tarkenton, 343 passing yards, passing touchdowns all time. There's Reggie Wayne for another 12. Manning walking in rhythm, grooving in style. There to Joseph Adai, keeps the Colts moving forward. Dilfer is shaking his
Please
head.
don't do that again.
It was in something flat, I'm sure. And then Manning, Wayne again, 12-play, 91-yard drive led to a Joseph Adai touchdown. Now, there's under a minute left in the half. It's 14-9.
Just take a knee, going to halftime.
No, that's not going to happen. Dallas Clark, and then you don't want to see this. Kyle Vanden Bosch goes low, and you know they're going to call that this year.
Yep, not on purpose, but can't go there.
Absolutely. So he gets some more yards. Later in the drive, it's Manning doing his audibles. What do we see, Trent?
You see the matchup. The Tennessee Titans kept regular people on the field versus nickel. Peyton Manning exposes it with the strike down the middle to the rookie receiver, Austin Collie. This takes such timing and precision at the most crucial moment here at the end of the first half.
40 seconds to go 93 yards to make it 21-9. Play action, Austin Collie again back at the end zone. His second TD of the night for Collie, 28-9 Colts. 4th quarter, 3rd and goal from the 10. Peyton with a perfect strike to Reggie.
Whoa!
What happened? What happened?
We didn't secure it.
What is wrong with Peyton Manning? Because clearly he did something wrong.
It was a little low.
By the way, they won
this was a little low.
31-9, 309 yards, 5 straight 300-yard games. So Peyton did his job. He's still angry, by the way. Raiders, Giants. The Giants had Eli. The Raiders had Jamarcus Russell. Okay, here we go. Eli playing despite plantar fasciitis. First quarter, Giants lead 7-0. Manning to Steve Smith, and that's a play. 43 yards. Boy, what a good quarterback he's becoming and a good receiver, and he takes the hit there. That would lead to an Ahmad Bradshaw touchdown. Giants up 14-0. And then Mario Manningham, Merrill.
A great job of bringing Manningham in motion to help him freeze, release, gets to the back of the end zone, and Manning another quarter.
By the way,
not a dime, right?
Manning to Manningham. That's a marketing. That's a marketing dream for somebody. 21-0. Then Akeem Nicks, the 9-yard touchdown strike. Manning would only play in the first half at a perfect passer rating. 44-7, they win. So let's do a fun thing called Who's the Man? Nick. You have Peyton and Eli, and listen, I guess you'd have to go with Peyton for more numbers, but Eli was perfect.
They're both amazing right now. I mean,
let me ask, did you know this question? Because I do not. Why is it 158.3?
I have the answer to that.
Please answer that.
Because that's why. There's no other reason.
Let's just name it the Manning rating.
Yeah, well, let's name it the Manning rating.
There we go.
For a quarterback.
See, this is how we do things on this show.
Now, Merrill, I know you love running backs, so we're going to give Ahmad Bradshaw a little love. He was pretty good in this game.
He was pretty good. Bad. Not bad at all.
I mean, 11 carries, 110 yards.
Boy, that's what you call pressing the perimeter, then getting into the hole, through the hole, and finish.
Yeah, that was one of them. Look.
And I love the spike.
Well, that was acrobatic.
Yeah. See what? That's why you threaten. You have to have patience. That's why quickness and agility far outweighs speed to be a great back.
Well, he's got all of that right there, and then he can also contribute in the passing game. 3rd and 24.
You know what I love about this call?
It's a third and 24.
But that, you help your quarterback, and what a great job of getting to the sideline first. That allows your offensive lineman to get in front of you, and then you make a few beautiful moves, a little factor back spin there, and you got yourself a first down.
I think that may sum up the Raiders' season. 3rd and 24. Yes. It's a 55-yard play. Okay, Bucks Eagles. Welcome back Donovan McNabb after that rib injury week 1, opening possession. McNabb looking for the rookie Jeremy Maclin, and you are witnessing the first touchdown of his career, a 51-yarder. He was the only athlete Maclin was associated with the state of Missouri that had a good sporting weekend. Eagles lead 7-0. Second quarter, same score. Play action to Brent Selleck. Now, Brent Selleck has done this once or twice before. The hurdle. It all looks good. But at some point, you need to protect the things that you consider valuable.
I hear you, Trey.
You sure that's not a high jump? Because that's not much of a hurdle.
Whatever it was, it looked good, but just be careful. 38-yard gain.
Get your shins hurt there.
Later in the drive, McNabb, more play action, looking for a former Seahawk named
Leonard Weaver does a great job. Nice blocker and a really valuable weapon out of the backfield and a total pro.
Yeah, Eagles now up 14-0 with that 20-yard touchdown. Boy, again, back to Maclin, the pride of Missouri's sporting weekend, whether it was college football, NFL, or baseball. 40-yard touchdown pass. Did a nice job, Merrill, getting through the secondary.
Great seam route and get to the inside up over the safety, and then Donovan throws a beautiful pass. Well, only the wide receiver can make a play on it.
Oh, by the way, McNabb not the only player coming back. How about Brian Westbrook back in?
Where is Waldo? He's on a will route for a Willie Wong play.
What's happened?
We didn't even
to the
practice
show?
that.
What has happened? That's the sad thing, that there was no practice involved. And Trent, take us through Westbrook here.
Valuable weapon. At the end of the day, the Eagles are going to ride Westbrook and his ability to run the ball, especially in the red zone.
33-14, the final. So much more coming on NFL Primetime. Denver really wore those uniforms, and it really paid off for Josh McDaniels against his coaching mentor. The Steelers back in Detroit. Better game for Ben than the Super Bowl, but the song remains the same for the Steelers.
At 6'4" and 262 pounds, Cowboys linebacker DeMarcus Ware is an opposing offense's nightmare. Solid against the run and the pass, Ware is a dominating pass rusher, recording 53.5 sacks in 4 NFL seasons. His 14 sacks were the third most in the NFL in 2007, and his 20 sacks led the league in 2008.
Ladies and gentlemen, the final of the Chinese wrestling competition is upon us. This is a moment that many young wrestlers who want to take part in the peasant games dream of. Split into 2 3-minute halves, Chinese wrestling involves a great deal of control and focus throughout the bout, as falls can come at a fast and furious pace. Fighters get 1 point for bringing down their rival, and 2 if the opponent falls and he remains on his feet. Wrestling at the highest level brings out huge crowds, anxious to see the cream of the crop have it out. Fans and fighters alike know the importance of concentration, as any moment of relaxation and victory could easily slip from their grasp. Stay tuned for more amazing games here on ESPN.
Sunday Night Football on ESPN America. Sunday Night Countdown gets you ready for a live triple header. Then we're in Minnesota as Brett Favre and the Vikings host the Ravens. The Titans look to get back on track in New England.
He's got the ball, that's a touchdown.
And the Falcons face the Bears in Atlanta. Live Sunday Night Football, only on ESPN America.
Welcome back to Primetime. I'm Susie Colbert in Miami with this team report. In trying to explain just how big Miami's first win of the season was last week, Tony Sperano said, "We're still trying to change the culture, and starting 0-3, getting that first win helps validate what we're trying to do. This team understands how hard you have to work every day in practice to have success. We're still a work in progress. You can't change 1-15 with just one good year." And Trey, 2 wins within the division could go a long way.
Big showdown in the AFC. Patriots went to Denver, as they have every year from 1995, except for 2004-2007, to play on the Denver Broncos. That's Bill Belichick on the left, the teacher and the student Josh McDaniels on the right. And believe it or not, those are the actual uniforms worn by the Denver Broncos.
UPS.
Not.
UPS. Listen, they delivered. Orton to Brandon Marshall for the touchdown.
Absolutely. It's all about the timing of this play. Ball's in the air before the corner can turn, and then Brandon Marshall making a nice adjustment to finish it off.
Payoff of a 10-play, 90-yard drive, but the Broncos trail 10-7. Swing Pat's possession, 10 seconds to go in the half. Brady to Ben Watson, and that's what the Patriots do. His second touchdown pass of the half. Pats lead 17-7. Fourth quarter, Broncos are pinned down 2nd and 5 from their own 21-yard line. Orton fields the Russian. Well, that's a good throw right there to Eddie Royal. 2 plays later, Orton to Neion Moreno, Merrill.
When Neion Moreno had a complete game. Very effective on the ground, running the football, but also helping in the passing game.
That was 27 yards, and then another tight window to Eddie Royal on a 3rd and 3, picks up a first down, drive continues. And then came this play, which was very confusing to the television audience. Orton for Royal. You see the flag.
For good reason, though.
Well, the flag is going to be thrown before the taunting, which was the penalty. That official was originally going to call pass interference, but the ball was tipped. So another official called the taunt. That's why Brandon Merriweather and many people watching were confused. Later in that drive, hopefully I explained that.
That's very well done.
Thank you very much. Orton to Marshall, his second of the game. That was a 12-play, 98-yard drive.
He was there all day for him, too.
By the way, a 98-yard drive, very familiar to Bronco fans, the drive. Tom Brady throws a strike. The only problem is it's to Wes Welker's leg.
Miscommunication. Brady expects an in-cut or a stop route. Welker sees the middle field open, takes it. They got to figure this stuff out.
And right. Broncos busted that coverage.
Patriots have to punt. Yes, they did. But after a Denver punt, Brady packed the pass, and, well, that pass and that ball's going nowhere. Fumbled, recovered by Denver. We call this Trent collapsing the pocket.
It is. Low man wins. Vonnie Holiday gets leverage on Logan Mankins, pushes him back into Tom Brady, and then Logan Mankins has to make sure he goes around Tom Brady, not give him the inside move. That's where the catastrophic mistake happens with the fumble.
Josh McDaniels filed up. They get the ball back, maybe a chance to win in overtime. The only thing he can't do is take a sack. Kelly Van Kane does not want to hear about that. He takes the sack. He gets the sack on Orton. That forces a punt and overtime. And in overtime, Broncos won the toss, 3rd and 1. Merrill, they kept throwing to that tight window with Eddie Royal.
Well, that, and I didn't think they panicked. Great separation with Royal there, and they kept balance with their offense.
Well, the balance being displayed right here. Once again, Neion Moreno takes the handoff. Left side, picks up 11 yards, first down. He had 21 rushes, 88 yards. Tom Brady can only watch as Matt Prater comes in from 41 yards in the thin air there. That would have been good from 50, maybe 61 yards. And that's a game winner. The Broncos 5-0 for the first time since 1998. McDaniels fired up. Bill Belichick and them had agreed not to shake hands after the game. They did want to look and acknowledge, and Josh is pumping up the crowd there. 20-17, the final in overtime. You look at this game, and if you're a Patriot fan, Trent, you thought there's probably one matchup where we're going to be much better than the Denver Broncos. It's quarterback. We got Tom Brady. They got Kyle Orton. For this game, Kyle Orton more than held his own.
Yeah, I'll go one step further. I'll say Kyle Orton flat outplayed Tom Brady, and he had the advantage in some really nice matchups in this game. The Denver Broncos did a great job capitalizing on their dominant offensive line, so when the Patriots brought more rushers than they could protect, they stood them up and then take advantage of those outside matchups, those dynamic receivers, Brandon Marshall and Eddie Royal winning the one-on-ones. And this is what you see. The Patriots going to bring 5, mano-a-mano. The Broncos stone them at the line of scrimmage, give clear throwing lanes, and the timing of the throw to Brandon Marshall. Orton understands. Marshall's going to turn before the corner does. I just got to get in general vicinity. Once again, Patriots trying to pressure. Kyle Orton does a great job here. Subtle little movement in the pocket, recognizing that he's got a free runner, buys himself some time. Eddie Royal works back down the stem on the sidelines. This is professional passing game right here, extending the play, getting it down the sidelines. The Broncos did a great job all day long putting Kyle Orton in situations where he could be successful, and he was awesome yesterday.
Well, you have to have a quarterback play well if you have 2 drives that are at least 90 yards and both double digits in plays. Merrill, on the flip side of this, that New England offense, which has been so prolific the last couple of seasons, what's wrong? What's just off here?
Well, if you used one word, it was the timing. And Trent, you know this as well as I know this. In order to have timing, you have to have time together. And that has really been the problem with the Patriots. Tom Brady gone for an entire year. Wes Welker in and out of the lineup. And I think it's really starting to show. I know Randy Moss has been there, but Tom Brady missed an entire year. I think it's evident. You see all the wide receivers that have come over. That combination has caused this team to have a lack of timing and the rhythm and that chemistry that is usually there. It does require you to play together, practice together over a period of time. And Tom Brady missing that year, you're seeing it. I mean, are these things that you can work and figure out and get solved? Absolutely. But again, it's going to take a little time before that happens.
Well, we certainly saw that last year when Peyton Manning, all he did was miss preseason and training camp. And
That's
he was
actually
off
a great point.
for the first 7 games of the season. Then he clicked in. You know it's going to click in with Tom Brady. But right now it's clicking for the Broncos. 5-0 for the first time since 1998. That was the last year they went to and won a Super Bowl. When we continue on primetime, well, I tell you what, the Bengals with an inspired effort in a very difficult place. And once again, it went down to the last second. The Cowboys went down to the last second and then some. Did they discover something about their team or more than one thing?
There are moments when time seems to stop and the world holds its breath. Because life isn't measured by the number of breaths you take, but by the moments that take your breath away. Celebrate those moments with ESPN Classic, the official FIFA World Cup films on ESPN Classic.
Trying to go quickly. The throw downfield is for Reggie. He's got it 40. Touchdown. Manning looks, pumps, throws to the end zone. Touchdown, Marvin Harrison. Peyton on first down. They air it out deep, intended for Reggie Wayne. Reggie's got it. That was a perfect throw. Manning takes the snap, sets up, throws downfield, open to the die. Touchdown, Joseph Adai.
NFL on ESPN America.
Matt Ryan wasn't supposed to be this good this soon.
His first professional pass is a 62-yard strike.
The 2008 Offensive Rookie of the Year exceeded all expectations by reinvigorating the Falcons with an 11-5 record and a trip to the playoffs. With the addition of Tony Gonzalez, the poised and savvy Ryan will look to lead Atlanta deeper into the postseason in 2009.
Bengals and Ravens, a very tough week for Cincinnati defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer, who lost his wife of 27 years suddenly last Thursday night, but he was on the sidelines ready to coach up his unit in Baltimore and facing Joe Flacco, who has been one of the better quarterbacks so far this season. First quarter, 3rd and 20, Flacco picked off by Jonathan Joseph out of the end zone and returns it out near the 20-yard line. Bengals making things difficult for Flacco. So Flacco with a turnover there, but you know what? Ed Reed is all about turnovers here, and this really could have been a breaking point. There's no score in this game. Ed Reed, film study leads to this. A perfect read on the ball, 52 yards the other way, 7-0 Ravens. What happened, Trent?
This is one of the great defensive plays I have ever seen. They overload the pressure. Ed Reed's supposed to be in the middle of the field, but understands it has to be a side adjust throw. You see the overload coming from the top of your screen. He knows Carson Palmer has to make a side adjust throw. Ed Reed's supposed to go the middle of the field, but he senses the timing of the quick throw, leaves his spot he's supposed to be. The instincts are unparalleled to any player in this league and changes this game around in a hurry.
And it's also great film study to know that that might be coming. All right, 3rd quarter, Cedric Benson, Merrill, was working that Ravens defense on the ground.
Not a great job of, moving lateral and then a little factor back spin. You get into the seam in the alley and finish. Nobody has been running harder in the league than Cedric Benson. Leads the NFL in rushing at 487.
Benson, the first 100-yard rusher against that Ravens D in 40 games. 4th quarter, Flacco to Ray Rice. This is why you stay low.
Yep.
Stay low is leverage.
A dip and a spin.
Uses that left hand to stay on his feet and takes it all the way to the end zone, 48 yards. Ravens up 14-10. You can see that great balance we're talking about.
I will tell you this. I loved him in Rutgers for one reason. He breaks tackles. He's a physical guy and breaks tackles.
First career touchdown reception. So here we go. If you're a Cincinnati fan, you're used to this. It's going to be decided late. Under a minute to play. 4th and 1. Palmer. Suddenly he's a runner for the 2nd straight week. Slides forward for 6. First down Bengals. Well, they're going to start to after consecutive weeks where he converts it on a 4th down late in the game and then overthrows Chad Ochocinco, who gets crushed by Ray Lewis. Ocho not happy, and you see Lewis flagged for unnecessary roughness here. You like the call?
It's the right call. I love Ochocinco popping back up and saying, I'm ready to go play some more football.
He actually tweeted, do not fine Ray Lewis for that hit to the NFL commissioner. He certainly did. Fined. Yeah, probably. Automatic first down. All right, then Frank Walker called for bumping Ochocinco before the ball got there, so that's another one that goes against John Harbaugh on the Ravens. 3 defensive penalties on that final drive. Not much you can do about that one.
Yeah, that's one I would like to see not called at that moment.
All right, so very next play, first down from the 20, and there it is to Andre Caldwell for the 2nd time this year. Andre Caldwell with a deciding touchdown late in the game. The Bengals go up 17-14.
Great job by Carson, creating space in the defense with his eyes and delivering a strike.
Hugs all the way around for defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer after the win. And there you see it in the locker room after the game. Marvin Lewis calling out Mike Zimmer for the game ball for being there and getting his team ready.
Let me say one thing.
Absolutely.
My wife loves all of you. She's proud of you. Every win or lose, she's proud of you. And I just appreciate all of y'all's effort.
We got you, man.
Well, obviously, just a great scene there in the locker room. And as you look at the Fidelity turning point in this game, you can't say enough about the job Mike Zimmer has done with that defense all season long, especially this week going into it. But it was the offense, Merrill, on that game-winning drive and on that game-winning play. Yes, it's the throw and the catch, but there was a lot more going on for the Bengals right on that play.
Well, absolutely. I think that when you look at the Bengals, I call these moments the moment of truth. You know, when it really matters, if your work habits are going to pay off, if you're going to be and trust the things that you've worked on throughout the week, as long as you've worked at them. And you could tell the Bengals have done just that. And one of the highlights we saw, Trent, he talked about, Carson Palmer moving his eyes and moving the defense. The guy that he's got to move, because there is Caldwell, is Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis is outside because the back's there. Well, the back's going to stay in and block. Well, Carson knows right away, I got to pull him over. So he goes over to the left side, and frees up Caldwell, who ran a beautiful route on that side to get open. But one thing that goes unnoticed on that play, is this offensive line. There's the most dominant football player that the Ravens have, and he's not in the secondary. He's actually in the trenches. Terrell Suggs. You heard nothing about him. He didn't get after Carson Palmer on that play. They slid to him. When you look at Kyle Cook, who's a free agent for the Bengals at center and is constantly have to call the protections to match what Carson is doing, that's the thing they have now that they didn't have in previous years at the moment of truth in critical moments.
Yeah, and you said about the critical moments, trust. It's all about trusting. Trusting yourself, trusting your teammates. And the reason the Bengals have been so clutch in the crunch time is because they have that trust in one another. They got something special brewing in Cincinnati. There's a belief, both an inner belief of each player and a belief in what they're doing systematically, and then poise. I love the fact, Trey, this team has poise. And as I've studied football all these years, the one common denominator you see in great teams is they have poise. In the biggest moments, nothing bothers them. They don't flinch, and that's what you see the Bengals doing.
Well, that's because they've had to play 60 minutes and then some every week. Every game the Bengals have been involved with has literally gone down to the final few seconds, and they've come out on top 4 out of 5 times. Bengals play the Texans next. There used to be a team in Dallas in the AFL called the Texans. The Dallas Cowboys went to Kansas City, where the old Texans used to go to play on Sunday. I am very old, and I'm also interested in this game. So Tony Romo to Miles Austin, well, that's no good. Miles Austin cannot be a big play wide receiver. He dropped a touchdown in the end zone.
And he probably won't do very well today.
I don't think he will.
His confidence is shot.
I think his confidence is shot. He can't get back. But there were problems for the Cowboys all day. Here, the punt. And Patrick Creighton, who once bragged on Hard Knocks about being able to catch 6 balls at one time, can't hold 1. Okay?
Maybe we'll work on that one.
That one. Chiefs will get a turnover and then the field goal, 3-0. So there are more Cowboy problems. Andre Giroud late with the snap. It goes to Leonard Davis instead of Romo. Davis was pulling. Chiefs recover. Chiefs take over in the red zone. And when you're in the red zone and you have Mike Vrabel on your team, throw to him. They've thrown to him 11 times in his career, either in Kansas City and New England. 11 times. It's been a touchdown twice in the playoffs, even in the Super Bowl. All right, fourth quarter, Chiefs leading 13-10. Chiefs are winless, by the way. Romo, back of the end zone to Miles Austin. Oh, it's just a little high. The guy's got no future. He can't make plays.
2 of 3 touchdown drops for him.
That is correct. He had another one right in his hands, couldn't drop it. That Miles Austin, he's never going to recover. All right, then Ryan Suckup, great name, by the way, for Mr. Irrelevant, tries to kick a field goal, but Jay Ratliff with a hurdle and blocks it.
And I tell them, all my little leaguers, you can't block anybody if you're looking at the ground. Maybe Kansas City needs to work on that.
And they also need to tackle. Well, you know what I was wrong about Miles Austin?
Oh,
makes a nice recovery here. Breaks a tackle, 59 yards. Now, he thought he pulled a Deshaun Jackson and let go of the ball too soon, but he didn't. Cowboys up 20-13. All right, so the Chiefs now driving, 3rd and 14. Castle for Wade gets hit hard, but makes the catch. A personal foul penalty actually kept this drive alive on 3rd and 26. Then on 4th and 7, time running out. Dwayne Bowe, who at one point this season was benched by new Chiefs head coach Todd Haley. Yeah, he's fired up about it now. We're going to overtime. Both teams got a chance. 2nd overtime possession for the Cowboys. Romo to Miles Austin. I regret everything I've ever said bad about Miles Austin. Gone! 60 yards for the touchdown. A 2nd touchdown for Miles Austin. A game-winning touchdown for Miles Austin. And really poor tackling.
It is poor tackling. I love the fact that Miles Austin's catching the ball with his eye on getting upfield, lowering his body, using his leverage and exploding upfield. It turns into 6, but it would have been a first down otherwise.
26-20. Miles with 10 grabs, 250 yards, and the Cowboys win it in overtime. And we delve inside the numbers. Miles Austin now. Miles Austin, in terms of receiving yards, the biggest game in Cowboy history. He's now the record holder for a franchise that has had wide receivers by the name of Michael Irvin, Drew Pearson, Terrell Owens, Tony Hill, Golden Richards, Bob Hayes. He broke Bob Hayes' 43-year-old record. Not bad for a guy that was making his first NFL start because the big play wide receiver they thought they had in Roy Williams couldn't play. So here's the question, and let's start with you, Merrill. Can Miles Austin be this kind of guy week in and week out? Not a 10-catch, 250 guy, but a reliable big play target.
Well, you know, we've already talked about in the show about the timing and the rhythm. And Trent, you understand this in the passing game. You got to see things. Wide receivers, backs, and quarterbacks, you got to have one set of eyes. You got to see things the exact same way. That's the only way you can beat tight press coverage. And, you know, if we watched the Cowboys a week ago, they obviously struggled with that, with Miles Austin being one of those guys. A miscommunication. Look, Miles Austin climbing Champ Bailey. Great job there. Now, Miles Austin will come back to Tony Romo, but Tony Romo wants him to go to the sideline. Champ Bailey, with his eyes in the backfield, gets the interception. They go to the sideline. Now, listen, here's how I got to have you do it. Well, critical moment in the game. Now, look at Look how Austin climbs in. You get the corner. Maurice Leggett move. Now you come back to the sideline versus Romo. It's a completion. You break a tackle. You end up scoring and getting chunks of yards. And
Lots
that's the difference in the passing game. You know, it's seeing the exact same thing, the exact same way, two guys, and run the precise route. Now, I don't know if the first one was Romo or Miles's, but at the end of the day, they got it right, and it paid off in this game when it mattered.
All right, so maybe a season-saving win for the Cowboys, because if they fall to 2-3 to a team that was winless, boy, the wheels come off in Dallas, where there's just a little attention about what the Cowboys do on a weekly basis. But Trent, 5 games in now,
just a little,
just a touch. 5 games in, they've beaten teams that are 1-13. They've lost to 2 teams that are a combined 10-0. What do we make of this Cowboys team?
They are what the record is, but more importantly, they're just a good football team. And the problem with the expectations that were heaped on the Cowboys was everybody had heard people say this is the most talented roster in football. It's not. If you study this team on film, this is not even close to almost one of the most talented teams in the NFL. It's a good team. It's a team that needs to continue to grow. They need to grow in the secondary. Their linebackers have to cover better. Their offensive line has to block better. Romo has to be more consistent. They got to get more plays from the receivers. Sounds like a lot of issues. All fixable, all things if they take the New England Patriots approach, one game at a time, keep getting better, then this team has a chance. But if they think they're just going to line up with that star on their helmet and listen to what everybody said about them, they're in deep trouble.
Well, the Cowboys go into their bye week now with a nice win, and then they come back, and a big test after that as they take on the Atlanta Falcons. And as we continue on this edition of NFL Prime Time, speaking of the Falcons, hey, listen, don't take our word for it that it's a test. Take the San Francisco 49ers. Apparently their bye week served Matt Ryan and company really, really well. Bad news for St. Louis. Brett Favre did not throw 6 picks in St. Louis like he did once in a playoff game, and it went about as might as you think.
At 6'4" and 262 pounds, Cowboys linebacker DeMarcus Ware is an opposing offense's nightmare. Solid against the run and the pass, Ware is a dominating pass rusher, recording 53.5 sacks in 4 NFL seasons. His 14 sacks were the 3rd most in the NFL in 2007, and his 20 sacks led the league in 2008.
As if you couldn't guess, Mongols are no lightweights, as physically they are the largest ethnic group in all of China. And by competing in the Mongolian wrestling tournament at the Peasant Games, they become the stars of the show. By playing a game that has been around since the days of Genghis Khan, the Mongols are able to show off their talent to all and, at the same time, keep their tradition alive as well. Mongolian wrestling involves 3 important factors: size, strength, and skill. In the end, both gladiators go into their traditional dance depicting their ancestors. Stay tuned for more amazing games here on ESPN.
James Harrison has been outstanding all year.
The strip and sack by Harrison. James Harrison pounded him, and it's a 2-pointer. James Harrison came in low. That's his patented specialty. James Harrison now is the Steelers' all-time sack leader for a single season. 16 sacks. Picked up, James Harrison. He's running up the sideline.
That is the biggest play of this football game.
NFL on ESPN America.
Sunday Night Football on ESPN America. Sunday Night Countdown gets you ready for a live triple header. Then we're in Minnesota as Brett Favre and the Vikings host the Ravens. The Titans look to get back on track in New England.
He's got the ball. That's a touchdown.
And the Falcons face the Bears in Atlanta. Live Sunday Night Football, only on ESPN America.
Welcome back to Primetime. I'm Susie Cobber in Miami with this team report. The newest Jet, Braylon Edwards, told us yesterday he got lucky. Not only to be traded to a good team, but a team that has a similar, if not the same offensive system that he enjoyed in Cleveland when he had his best year and the Browns went 10-6. It's really given him a jump on learning the terminology. He and Mark Sanchez worked overtime this week to get on the same page. And Rex Ryan said he wanted the trade because when he faced Braylon 2 times a year, no matter what they did, he always seemed to have big games. And he told Edwards, all you have to do tonight is have the same type of performance you had the last time you faced Miami. Trey, he scored 3 touchdowns.
Susie, it's funny you mentioned Braylon Edwards because he might be a good fantasy choice for Monday Night Football. He had only 3 100-yard receiving games last season. Now would be a good time to point out all 3 of them coming on Monday Night Football. And again, as Susie was alluding to, he makes his Jet debut tonight, a team that has won 8 of its last 11 visits to Miami.
Fantasy Minute is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Well, pity the 4 Atlanta Falcons. Coming off their bye week, they had to travel all the way across America to get to San Francisco to play on the 49ers, who are so tough and strong, and apparently Matt Ryan and Roddy White could not have cared less. First quarter, they're up 7-0. After a 3-and-out, Matt Ryan to Roddy White, who's slightly open for the 60-yard gain.
What kind of pass rush pressure is that?
It wasn't good pass rush, and it wasn't good coverage. And Mike Singletary was letting his team know, let's just focus and let's get going here. Whatever he said did not work, because the very next play is a 31-yard touchdown pass to the aforementioned Roddy White. Falcons up 14-0. It only got worse. Second quarter, Falcons leading 14-10, 3rd and 5. Matt Ryan to Roddy White. I'm sorry if you're sick of hearing this, Niner fans, but it happened all day. This one's a 90-yarder to the house. Trent Dilfer, how is that possible?
Well, the biggest thing is timing. There is no defense that can stop perfect timing by the quarterback and receiver and then a perfect throw. The ball's out early. It's a nice route. It's to the outside shoulder. Nate Clements tries to take the inside path. Big gamble there. Works for the Falcons.
Singletary still a tad miffed, a bit irked, a spot cross, 21-10. Okay, now listen, 35-10. Listen, I'm not saying you're winning the game, but Dre Bly with a pick and then starts to hold the hand behind the head and holds the ball out and he fumbles. What is that?
That means you're more interested in yourself than you are in the team, and that is what Singletary talked about. You can't win with them when they're like this.
Can't do it. Of course, he fumbles and the Falcons get it back as they steamroll the Niners 45-10. Vikings, Rams. Jared Allen talking a little trash during the game, and he would deliver. First quarter, it's 7-0 Minnesota. Kyle Bowler back to pass, and, well, that just sort of falls out of his hand, and Jared Allen says, gobble, 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 and he's gone the other way. 52 yards for a touchdown. It's 14-0 Minnesota. Now, listen. The Rams actually had chances to get back in this game. Here's a 1st and goal. It's only 14-0. Steven Jackson, fumbles. It's recovered by who else? Jared Allen. You want to talk utility in the red zone? Rams, 4 turnovers, 4 trips to the red zone, 3 points. Then Kyle Bowler, knocked down by Allen. Jared Allen apparently was in the huddle for the Rams.
He must have practiced the Rams this week because he knew what was coming.
Well, either he practiced or he knew something. Let's put it that way. Now, Brett Favre did something in this game he never done. He completed a pass to himself, which was interesting. However, he also completed this one to Sidney Rice, and that's a nice adjustment right there for 47 yards, Merrill.
Yeah. Well, sometimes your wide receivers got to help your quarterback out. Great job of fighting back to the football and having awareness that he was not down yet.
Actually, to recap, Brett Favre has completed a pass to himself before. He liked it so much he just did it again in this game. And there's Visante Shenko with a nose for the end zone, 13-yard touchdown. Favre 18-24, 232 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Now listen, there's a time and a place to celebrate in the NFL. Your fourth quarter, you're down big. This is a nice throw and a nice catch by Donnie Avery. But
good touchdown.
What is this?
Keep in mind, they're down 31-3 at that time.
What is that? You still lose, and you get no points on Dancing with the Stars.
That's making a fool of yourself.
38-10, Vikings and Brett Favre undefeated. Oh, boy. You know, we made a lot of fun of the Lions and their 16 straight losses last year. Rams lost 15 straight. They've lost 15. The last team to lose to the Rams, the Cowboys, Week 7 last year. St. Louis has lost those 15 games by an average margin of 17.5. The Rams have scored a total of 34 points this season, which translates into less than a touchdown and an extra point per game. Speaking of the aforementioned Lions, Aforementioned may be the word of the show.
Yes, it is.
You like it?
Used it.
Googly moogly's good too.
Thank you. That's not really a word, but a phrase. All right, Ben Roethlisberger and company in Detroit. Take it on.
I'm not real smart.
I'm not a smart man. To Mike Wallace, but he drops the pass. And then he kicks the ball. You can't do that. That's a flag.
Well.
2 plays later, Roethlisberger. And that's a pick six, Merrill,
Yes,
to
it
William
is.
James. That's
when
no
you
good.
hang the ball inside just a little too far, bad things happen.
Now, is this more on Ben or on Wallace here?
Oh,
The ball's
well,
late. The ball's late inside.
Exactly. You can't blame that on Wallace.
Steelers still leading 14-13. Steelers up 21-13. Ben Roethlisberger. Listen, they're going to go to Wallace because he's made some plays for him. Like that one, the rookie comes up big, 28-13. It's all good now. That Steelers pass rush, which hadn't been the same since Troy Polamalu went out and he didn't play in this game, it got good in this game.
It did. They were relentless with their pressure. I love the last series had those 3 sacks to seal it.
James Harrison had 3 on his own self. Later in the 4th, you're talking about these drives completed. Culpepper sacked by Lamar Woodley. Next play, Culpepper drops back and will be dropped, this time by William Gay. 2nd consecutive. You know, it's like you knew what was coming, Trent. Because on the very next play, it's Lawrence Timmons, Merrill.
Yeah, well, keep in mind, remember the Bengals on their last drive, no blitzes. They said that won't happen in this game.
We're not doing that again. Steelers win it 28-20. There's Troy Polamalu, and hopefully Casey Hampton
action.
Put that gum somewhere else besides back in his chewing area. When we continue, what a wild game between the Cardinals and the Texans that was won by Arizona defense. And we cannot confirm rumors that there's an impeachment proceedings going on in D.C.
No million-dollar contracts.
Big catch! Touchdown, Notre Dame!
No trade deadlines.
Williams with a ton of time in firing. Caught! Touchdown!
No holding out.
And in trouble, and down he goes.
This is American football, played from the heart. College football is back and at home on ESPN America. Step onto the gridiron and see the dedication. Feel the excitement and witness the tradition with another season of heart-pounding action. Follow your favorite teams as they battle their way across the nation to take claim of that #1 ranking. Show your spirit all season long. College football is back and at home on ESPN America.
James Harrison has been outstanding all year.
The strip and sack by Harrison. James Harrison pounded him, and it's a 2-pointer. James Harrison came in low. That's his patented specialty. James Harrison now is the Steelers' all-time sack leader for a single season. 16 sacks. Picked off James Harrison. He's running up the sideline.
That is the biggest play of this football game.
NFL on ESPN America.
When rain descends on an NFL game, it usually means it's time to run the ball.
30 runs for a first down, 40, he may go!
But with the right set of hands, the pass can still be dangerous. Even in the coldest weather, the best can still get hot.
Back to pass. Long throw down the field, and Owens is open. Touchdown.
In the NFL, sometimes the stars can run between the raindrops.
Well, Texans, Cardinals, no quitting either one of these teams. Kurt Warner and company back after the bye, trying to get things going with Larry Fitzgerald, and this would always be a good call. Remember, they were out of rhythm in that loss to the Colts?
Yeah, we found the rhythm, folks.
Right there, back of the end zone, 9-yard score. Point up, Larry. 14-0. Late second quarter, still 14-0. Let's find that rhythm with Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah, if you keep Kurt Warner clean, don't get him hit, he makes it look easier than any quarterback in this league.
Warner 20-23, 260 yards in the first half. Cards up 21-0, but there's no quitting the Texans. Matt Sharp to Andre Johnson from 11 yards. Texans down 21-14. And then, Merrill, maybe the play of the weekend to Andre Johnson.
Now, keep in mind, this is a linebacker that hits him right there. Get out of here.
Bam!
Take that, and let's get in the end zone and potty.
Well, let's look at it again, shall we?
Yeah, linebacker. Bam! Bam! See, that's what happens when you don't wrap up.
8 catches, 101 yards, 2 touchdowns, and the eternal gratefulness of the NFL primetime crew. Tied it at 21. With 3 minutes to play, Matt Schaub threw another touchdown pass. Unfortunately for him, it was to the other team. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, 49 yards.
We talk about timing and rhythm, but when it's off, and you're late on the out cut, that is what happens in the National Football League.
All right, Cards up 28-21, but the Texans come fighting back. First and goal, Chris Brown stopped at the 1-yard line. Very next play, Steve Slayton. No. All right, so now we got a third and goal, and it's pass back to the end zone, and they got a touch. They got a touch. Oh, they got a touch. No.
Nope. Got to leave a yard for your quarterback. Anybody run on the back line, leave a yard.
So it comes down to this, 4th and goal. They give it to Chris Brown. Thoughts on this run?
This is the worst 4th down goal line run I think I've ever seen.
I always love to give my guys options. Get the quarterback on the perimeter with a throw or run option.
Cards win it, 28-21. Redskins, Panthers, and Carolina. Steve Smith, D'Angelo Hall. Hi, how are you? Fine. Panthers start off struggling. First play from scrimmage, D'Angelo Williams, an excellent runner. Runs around, the ball comes loose, it's a fumble, and Albert Hainsworth says the ball is mine, the doggone ball is mine. That would lead to a Clinton Portis touchdown. Third quarter, Panthers down 10-2 after a sacrifice bunt. Jake Delhomme, that's a tip ball off Muhsin Muhammad to D'Angelo Hall. It's going to go down on Jake, but that one hit him in the hands.
Yes, it did.
Hall makes some moves, splits the defenders down to the 1-yard line. Portis would score again. It's 17-2. This is not good for Jake and company. Fourth quarter, here's what turned it around. It's a punt. Antoine Randall ready to get there, but Brian Westbrook gets blocked into him. The ball bounces off his leg, and Dante Wesley recovers for the Panthers. Literally, look at that, right off his heel. That's the break you need if you're the Carolina Panthers.
Very smart by the Panthers,
yes.
I will tell.
They get the ball inside the 15. And then 2 plays later, Jonathan Stewart gets a huge hole, runs into the end zone. They pick up a 2-point conversion, lead 20-17. 2 minutes left, same score. Panthers 3rd and 8. Jake Delhomme got to get a first down. Now you can time him with a sundial, but he gets there. And look at the celebration. As he goes first down, he pops his teammate Dante Rosario right in the chops. Panthers win their first game, 20-17. And then the game of the week, ladies and gentlemen, it's the Browns and the Bills. How weak is this game? We're going to show punting skills. Never mind the fact that Derek Anderson completed 2 passes in this game out of 17 as the starting quarterback. It's Dave Zastudil tied at 3 with a punt that literally pins the Bills all the way to their 1-yard line. That's good special teams play all the way around.
Very good special team. Brings a whole new meaning to the special teams battle.
That's right. And then Merrill, Brian Moorman responds with another great punt of his own.
That's right. To not be outdone, take that, Cleveland.
62 yards.
Oh, that's what you got for me? That's what you got for me,
28.
huh?
Let's go back to Zastudil
I got a little Zastudil for you.
40.
Where'd the last one end up on the one?
That is correct.
Well, how about this one? I'm just gonna, you know what? It's like that sand wedge. You just hit the back of the green and sucks back to the pin. That is money.
Little zip, and Zastudil then showing off, punting from his own 15. Roscoe Parrish.
This is a little bit of a show off.
Yeah, tries to. That was a show off.
That's unnecessary.
Browns Blake Costanza recovers it. Costanza led to a field goal. Browns win it 6-3.
Oh, gracious.
When we continue, we hand out primetime performers. We can promise you none of them are named Zastudil. Maybe they should be.
A sport that dates back to the Jomon period, Yabusame still symbolizes the power and control it did during the age of the samurai warriors centuries ago. Developed as a way to appease and entertain the gods, this ancient Japanese form of horseback archery has stood the test of time. Nowadays, the Yabusame Festival is one of the most important events in the country. Yabusame takes the teachings of Zen into deep consideration. Many participants believe that the ability to be clear of thought helps them focus on the task at hand. This was pretty hard to do centuries back, as a bad performance would force the archer to commit ritualistic suicide. But when a participant achieves that mental zone, it's one of the most fluid and perfect moments that can be achieved. Stay tuned for more amazing games here on ESPN.
At 6'4" and 262 pounds, Cowboys linebacker DeMarcus Ware is an opposing offense's nightmare. Solid against the run and the pass, Ware is a dominating pass rusher, recording 53.5 sacks in 4 NFL seasons. His 14 sacks were the 3rd most in the NFL in 2007, and his 20 sacks led the league in 2008.
Well, leading the way, how about Peyton Manning? I know that shocks
Again?
all of you. Listen, whatever you want to call it, the best performance of the week, the best player, the most important, the most valuable, he could get it every week.
Every week.
5 consecutive
When are they gonna
300-yard
put the
passing
Wildcat
games.
in there?
Colts 5-0 for the 5th time in 7 years.
You're crazy.
Yeah. You have just sealed your fate to never coach in this league.
That's funny.
I got Peyton Manning on my team. We're running the Wildcat. Come
Get
on,
that
sideline.
quarterback off the field. Check them running backs out there.
Trio players help lead their teams to victory. Merrill's not leading our team anywhere. You have Bromo, Cedric Benson, and Miles Austin. Here we go, prime time performers. Trent, I'm going to let you go first.
You'll be defined as a quarterback. Your greatness with how you do in the most critical situations. Carson Palmer has engineered 4 game-winning drives in 5 games. I would say that is great, and he did it again Sunday.
Merrill, I'm almost scared to ask.
Don't be scared, but we need to get some defensive love. Jared Allen, 2 forced fumbles, a 52-yard fumble return for a touchdown, and he didn't even practice with the Rams.
And we should point out, with the holiday season coming, Merrill, he went to Jared. I'm going to Miles Austin, ladies and gentlemen.
Nice.
First start, Cowboy record most receiving yards in the history of the franchise, including 2 touchdowns in the game winner in overtime. Honorable mention, by the way, to Dave Zastudil, punter for the Browns. Listen, Monday Night Football. Merrill, you got your eyes on somebody most people may not think about.
One guy I've been watching on tape that you need to look for in this game is Cameron Wake for the Miami Dolphins, number 91. Built like a Mack truck. If you like James Harrison, outside back for the Steelers, very similar player. Very green, but good pass rusher right now.
What about you?
I'd say Braylon Edwards. Does he have an impact right away for these Jets team?
Well, they expect him to get in there and make that impact. That's why they made the trade. Thanks for watching NFL Primetime. Trey Wingo, Trent Dilfer, and the guy who wants to bench Peyton Manning, Merrill Hodge.
Just for a series.
At 6'4" and 262 pounds.